we're going to go ahead and start. So as people come in late, then they can just be late. So first off, do you remember what we talked about on Tuesday? Yeah. We talked about 2 kinds of adjectives. You remember what they were? I'll give you a hint. The first one's up here.
More.
Okay? More.
Least.
More and less. And some words that end in what?
More.
There's ER. Right? What do we call this kind of adjective? Do you remember? It's for comparing. Yeah, so it's called a comparative. Right? And for how many things do we use for this? It compares 2 things. Right? 2 things. Do you remember the other one that we talked about? This is what we did most of our practice on Tuesday, right? Yeah. Here we go. We have most. Least. What's the N? Yeah. EST. Do you remember what we call that one?
Superlative.
Superlative.
More than 2C.
Yeah. Superlative is how many things?
More than 2C.
2 and 1.
Yeah. It's usually more than 2 things that we are comparing. Another way we can say this is that you are comparing one thing to a group. For example, am I the tallest person in the class? What do you think? Am I tallest?
Yeah.
Who's the top? Maybe most of them. Stand up. Okay, come over here. And then Zoe, come here.
Zoe?
Sophie, sorry.
Zoe?
Sophie. Come up to the front. So.
Change the name. Zoe.
Okay, Harris, you come too. Okay, so stand up straight. So, let's take Sophie and I. Who is taller between Sophie and I?
I'm not taller than Sophie.
I am taller.
More.
That's the comparative.
Yeah.
Taller than Sophie.
Yeah.
Now, what about if we compare one person to the whole group?
I'm not tallest.
Am I the tallest? Harris is the tallest. He is the tallest what?
Person. More than human.
He is the tallest student in the group. Yeah, or come on in, Yusuf. Harris is the tallest in the group. So there, what are we comparing? We're comparing Harris, one thing, to what? Yeah, to more of us. We're comparing Harris to a group.
Yeah.
And he is the most in the group. You see how that works?
Yes.
I am taller than Sophie because we are only 2. But Harris is the tallest because we are comparing Harris with a group.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. You can sit down. So that's just a quick review of what we did on Tuesday. Comparative and superlative. Now, I want to give you a new idea. What if you want to compare 2 people and they are the same? What do? We use an equivalent adjective. Have you guys seen this word equivalent? Do you know what this means?
Same.
Same. It means same or like equals. You know, in math, when you have an equal sign, that's equivalent. It means the same. 2 things are equal. So what about, you guys did not get handouts. And
Use it.
There you go. Okay, so what about, let's say, intelligence? Okay, let's talk about Kara and I. Do you think, is Kara more intelligent? Am I more intelligent?
We don't have idea.
You don't have an idea. What if we are the same? We have the same amount of intelligence. Let's say that. Let's see. What can we say? Kara is as,
America?
we're going to say intelligent. Bless you.
Bless me, thank you.
Kara is as intelligent as Hannah. So this is what we do. This is equivalent. Equals. Or we can also say the same. So what do? As plus what? Adjective, right? As plus the adjective plus as.
No.
And then, yeah, the other thing you're comparing. So, do we need to add ER, EST, most,
No.
least?
No.
Do we need any of these when we use an equivalent? Yeah, equivalent. If I say Kara is as intelligent as Hannah, that's equivalent. It's the same. If we use equivalent like that, do we need any
No.
of these
No.
or these? No. You don't put ER. Don't put EST. Don't put more, less, most, least. You don't need it. All you need is as plus the normal adjective. Normal, regular adjective plus as. And then here you have the two things you're comparing. Okay?
Okay.
So, what we are going to do today is we reviewed superlatives, and I just told you about equivalence. Now we're going to practice writing some sentences. So you remember yesterday we had these books, right? Well, I brought them back today. Sorry, not yesterday, on Tuesday. We wrote some sentences as a class with these. Today, you are going to write sentences. And then you're going to share your sentences with a partner, and the partner can discuss them with you and correct them, and then you'll share them with the class. Okay, so let me give you these. Okay, so when I hand this out, who's there? I put your names on them so I'd remember who's here and who's not. So read the directions as you get your paper.
What? This is my name?
Oh my gosh, sorry. Sorry, Chungshin.
No.
There you are, Henry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my names today. I'm all wrong. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go, Chungshin. Sorry. Maybe I'm just too tired. I don't know. Is anybody else tired?
Yeah, this week is very tired.
Yeah.
This guy.
I know. It's the end of the semester, isn't it? Correct. There you go. Okay. So read through your directions. Some of you have slightly different papers, and that's okay. So if your paper looks a little different than someone else, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You're all doing something similar. So what you're going to do is write sentences about these books on your paper. And I told you which words you need to use. Most, least, EST, as plus adjective plus as. And I've given you some adjectives here, okay? You can use these adjectives. You don't have to. If you have another one you want to use, that's okay. But you can use some of these. We have some long ones and some short ones, okay? So go ahead and do the work. I'll come around if you have questions. And when you're done, then you will find a partner, just the person next to you, and switch your papers and look at your partner's paper. Okay? So I'll come around, I'll help if you need help.
Describe book? Something about the book.
About the books, right? Using some of these adjectives. Or another adjective if you want. This big one, this is Harry Potter. This one, it's called the giving tree.
Giving tree.
The giving tree, like the tree who gives. This one is dictionary. This one, I don't know if you can see it, To Kill a Mockingbird. So do you remember we talked about these on Tuesday? Because you've already seen these books before. If you don't remember what they're about, just ask and I can help you. In the group, in just yeah. Or of all the books in the group, either one's okay. Mm-hmm. One of the superlatives is less of them, and then use an adjective also to describe it. So that's the first book. We're looking at these 4 books right now. So that's the first book. Then the dictionary. And the dictionary. So giving tree, that's a short book. That's the poem at the end. Yeah, so boring is a longer word. Now I want you to use least and fill in the short words on the board.
I know.
Yeah, we're going to go over this in a group, so that's why, because there's a special trick. We talked about it on Tuesday, but we'll review it today.
Okay.
Is reading okay?
Almost.
Almost. Do you have any questions?
No. Just like this?
You can use this one in another sentence,
Okay.
but you need to actually use that word least.
Okay.
Yeah. Next question. Here, you need to use the actual word least. So this one, bad is a short word.
Yeah.
So you could put that here. Like it ends in E, so. So that's a good sentence that can go here.
Yep.
Bad is. Now number 3, I just want you to use the word least. Like Harry Potter is the least, and then pick a short word. Here I want you to use least the same way and pick a long word. Okay. Good. Can you see the books okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Good. I wonder if they have something that can
It's
put
okay.
them in. If you guys want to come up and look at one, feel free. You don't have to stay in your chairs. If you want to see one or come look at one, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. So now do this one.
No.
That's it. Pick least and then pick an adjective to describe Harry Potter. That's it. Lena, how are you doing? Are you finished? Have you finished? Okay, I want you two to switch papers and check each other's papers. I want you to switch, read each other's papers, and then discuss. So Alina, if you find mistakes on Henry's paper, or if you find mistakes on her paper, I want you to discuss and talk about them. Okay? So don't correct it, but just talk about any mistakes. Are you finished? Joshua, are you finished? Can you come and switch papers with Zoe and check each other's papers? You guys switch papers, look at each other's work, see if you find mistakes, and then discuss it with the other person. So you don't need to correct it, you're not grading, but just discuss mistakes and let the other person have a chance to fix them. Hey, make sure you tell her, don't just give it back to her. Talk about the mistakes. Yeah. Okay, so you finished? Not yet, okay.
The color is the most important book and
List?
Yeah, is that right?
color is the
But
most interesting in the group.
Yeah, you're right, there's something wrong there.
I'm gonna
What do you
try
think
to
it is?
List? No. It's not. That's right?
Mhm.
Different?
You guys discuss. So Changshun found a mistake in yours, so I want you to discuss and figure out how to fix it. Finish? Yeah, go ahead if you want to check it first.
Empezando todo.
I'm not going to check it, my partner will check it.
Bueno,
Alice, are you finished?
就这个
Okay, you two can switch papers.
boring，它是两
Look
个
at your partner's paper. See if you find mistakes. If you find a mistake, just circle it, and then you guys can discuss the mistakes and try to correct it.
要不要加 S？
不知道应该加啥，我不知道。
Henry, did you guys discuss your mistakes?
Tend to I don't know this. I think like sentence English. I sentence
干嘛了？都下课了。
now after the adjective sentence now after
第三个我不知道，为什么两个比较级？
Did you correct your
那
paper?
两个比较级跟一块儿。
So it's a good idea. You guys need to discuss and use that paper because it has good instructions for you.
我会给你。
You guys are finished? Okay.
要比
I want all of you to pick one sentence from your partner's paper and write it on the board.
That's green.
This correct or not?
It can be any sentence. Correct or not correct, it doesn't matter. You can pick anything.
No?
Yeah, now. So both of you, write a sentence from your partner's paper. No. No. You can write it here or here.
you have a stomach. He get a stomach
That's okay.
today.
That's okay.
Stomach ache?
So he
People
can
have
get
different
up.
papers, so it's understandable for you.
So his legs,
So
his
you
legs.
guys can switch papers. You can check it, you can check it. You can be a partner with Jared. This is what we're working on. You weren't here on Tuesday, were you?
Get a stomach. 跟他说，
少啰嗦行不行
You can tell her.
Shut up.
This is what we're doing today, talking about superlatives and comparatives. So this is what we're doing right now. Superlative is when you describe something that's the most out of the group. Like he is the tallest in the class. He is the most interesting in the class.
I know what's in it.
You know what this means? So look at this and this, and then we have 4 books. We're trying to write sentences about each one. So one sentence that uses most, one sentence that uses least, plus a long adjective, one sentence that uses least, plus a short adjective. You can use the list on the board. One word that ends with EST. Those are the short words like tallest, longest, shortest. And then as, this is equivalent. So 2 that are the same. So give it a try. I'll come back in just a second after I get everyone else squared away. Tarek, Yusuf, are you almost done? Are you almost done?
Yeah.
Well, just this one isn't too hard. You can do number 3 really quick and then switch with Tarek.
Okay, what do you think about this?
You're going to switch with Yusuf.
I want to check because I'm not sure.
I will check them all after.
Okay.
Okay, but first you're going to check with the partner and then write it on the board. Okay, so you guys wrote sentences? You wrote your sentence?
I'm finished.
Jinzo? What have you been doing? All right, finish that sentence and then switch with Mohammed.
Okay.
You guys wrote your sentences?
Speak English.
Just
And
longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So, what do you think?
Most less. How many?
for Harry Potter?
Yeah.
How about it's the
Yeah.
least big or the least small? That means it's not small.
I don't know, but easy
The least small. Well, what about,
Story.
is it boring
Story.
or is it interesting? It could be the least boring, could be the least
Story.
interesting,
Is it story?
could be about your
Harry Potter
opinion,
is a story.
what you think of the book.
Most exciting.
There is story between this.
Yeah, you can do that one. Yeah, that's fine. It's the least funny of all the books.
No.
Of the books. Oh. Okay, so you wrote yours. Harris, did you guys switch? Okay. Are you guys done checking? You're still working. Okay, we'll switch back and discuss it when you're finished. So why don't you switch with Mohammed? Yeah, you guys can switch, discuss, and check each other's work together, okay? You guys switch. Tarek, Yusuf, did you guys switch?
Yeah.
You're changing a little? That's okay.
We change some words.
Okay. Well, what you want to do is, for example, for most is a lot, least is a little.
Yeah.
So you want to write one sentence telling me about one of these books and how it's the most something.
This is more, this is less.
Yeah, so you could say Harry Potter is the most, and you can
The
use,
other book.
you can use one of the adjectives though. Most goes with an adjective. So for example, you could use amazing, or funny, or boring, interesting.
Book. B-O-R-W.
It's on the board, right there. Correct.
Will, no, I'm not, no. I go to grammar. It's not, particularly I will go, I will meet.
You can start off the sentence saying Harry Potter is the,
I want for the most bigger, not the most, the biggest.
okay, so put that one here, because it ends in est. Harry Potter is the biggest.
Number 2.
Yes, Tara?
Think about number 2.
Okay. The dictionary is, don't forget the. Remember you need that. The book most people use. Yeah, but the idea is good. It's just the way you phrased it. Don't forget the in these sentences.
Where with the
Right after is. The dictionary is the.
book.
Mm-hmm. And you don't need most 2 times there. You only need it 1 time.
Yeah, because I'm clear some of writing there.
Okay, okay. But this should be about, not I, it should be about one of the books on the table.
Right. Listen.
Is the most funny. Always have to put the with a superlative. Hmm? So now you want to do another sentence like this, but use least plus a long adjective. So one of the bigger ones on the board. One of these. Use least plus one of these. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good question. Does it end in EST if you use least?
I like that. This one.
So would you say the least biggest?
That's one.
No. But you know what? Go ahead, write that on the board, and we'll discuss as a big group. Okay? So go ahead. It's okay. Write that sentence on the board.
Right, what's sentence?
This one. He is the least.
Student of the class.
The least biggest of the class.
The least biggest?
Wait. Jinso, is this your sentence?
Yeah. This is
The least funny. That's okay. So you can write that one on the board. So each of you pick one sentence. Pick one sentence from Jinso's paper. Jinso pick one sentence from Mohamed's paper and write it on the board.
That's good, yeah?
Yeah, just pick any sentence. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. We'll correct it together.
Like, do you know the house of the horse? Like,
On number 5, the giving treat is as short as to kill a mockingbird. Yeah. Did you already write one on the board? Okay, then pick one. Who did you trade with? Did you two trade? Okay, Henry, I want you to write one of Alina's sentences on the board. Alina, write one of Henry's sentences on the board. So you switch. Write one sentence from his paper. You write one sentence from her paper on the board. Okay, Zoe, you already wrote your sentences on the board? You wrote one? Tarek? Okay. So guys, it's okay. You're going to switch back. Tarek, I want you to write one of Yusuf's sentences on the board. Yusuf, I want you to write one of Tarek's sentences on the board. Pick any sentence. Any sentence. Okay, you guys also write? You guys write? Did you guys write your sentences? Sorry? Write your sentences? Did you guys write? Yeah, you did that first. Did you write a sentence? And Wilson. So, you will write one of Paris's sentences. And Paris will write one of Wilson's sentences. Did you trade with? Did you trade papers with someone? No? Okay. Then I want you to write one of your sentences on the board. On the board. Choose like everyone else is doing. Yep. Just pick one. You can choose one. Write it on the board. Paris, you're tall. You can write it on the top. Here, guys, if you want to erase this one, you can write something up here.
Oh, so big.
Okay, you guys can use that space.
네, 지금 pick up that. No, you? It's me. Change. It's wrong too.
Okay, guys? Hey, guys. When you finish, you're writing your sentence. Even if it's wrong, it's okay. Just write it on the board. We'll discuss it. Guys, when you finish, give your paper back to your partner. Okay, get your own paper back.
It's me.
Sorry, guys.
I don't care. Yeah.
When you say read, you have an executive.
What? Yeah. Just your conversation.
Do you want a chair to stand on? To write it? Do you want a chair to stand on? Do you want a chair to stand on?
I don't care.
No? Okay.
So, what are you gonna do tomorrow?
What tomorrow? Platypus. Tomorrow semester. Platypus.
The conversation?
Yeah. Conversation.
Or deal about?
Yeah.
Teacher, why you play the video?
For her, so she can watch it later.
Okay, you said well, you're finishing. We're going to start reading. So go ahead and finish reading. Okay, guys, let's look at our sentences. Shh. Come back. Okay, let's look at our sentences and discuss them together. So, Alice, did you write this? Okay, read that sentence for us.
That is my sentence.
Did you write it?
No.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this on the board?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
Harry Potter is the most big in the group.
Okay, what do you guys think? Is this correct? Harry Potter is the most big in the group. Thumbs up for correct. Thumbs down for not correct. Okay, Harris, how can we correct this?
Biggest?
Biggest. Yeah, why is it biggest?
My idea.
Well, you were both on the right track. Why is it biggest? Why is it biggest?
Short one?
Because
Double G.
Double G. It's a short word. So remember when we have a short word like big, we add EST to the end. We add EST. So we don't say most big. When you have...
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm disrupting my class. When you have a short adjective like big, you add EST to the end.
Okay.
You don't say most big. Remember we talked about that on Tuesday. So this is a review. Okay, who wrote this one on the board? Mosin, read this for us.
Dictionary is the least interesting book of the four.
Okay? Dictionary is the least interesting book of the four. Is it correct or not correct? What do you guys think? Correct? Not correct.
Yeah, correct.
correct.
It's correct. The only thing we need to add is at the beginning. Can we just say dictionary?
Dictionary.
The
The dictionary. Right? It is the least interesting, right? Least goes with a big adjective, right? So it's okay. We don't need to add EST here.
Yeah.
Why not?
This is long word.
Yeah, it's a long word.
Yeah.
ING.
Yeah, also we have ing, so we don't need to add EST. Exactly. Okay, this one down here. Who wrote this one?
Yes.
Eris, read it.
The dictionary is the least exciting of all the books.
Okay, the dictionary is the least exciting of all the books. Correct or not correct?
Correct.
What do you guys think? Come on, show me. Is it correct or not correct?
Which the least book of
The dictionary is the least exciting of all the books.
the exciting books of
Correct.
It's correct.
yeah.
Do you guys agree? Is it the least exciting?
No.
Maybe. I think it's the least exciting, least interesting. Yeah, so same as this. We have least plus a long adjective, so it's okay. Do we need EST here? Do we need EST at the end of
No.
exciting? No. Why not? It's long. Yeah, we don't need EST. Exciting is long.
Long word.
It's a long word, long adjective. Okay? Yusuf, you had this one?
The book most people use dictionary to translate.
Okay. The book most people use dictionary to translate. You guys think correct?
Yeah.
Not correct.
Correct.
Sorry, well you wrote it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Correct?
Populist. Most populist.
Is it most peopleist?
The book is most popular.
The book
It's people.
most people use
Oh.
dictionary to translate. It's not correct. The book most people use.
children.
We need to add a verb here.
This is where use.
Is.
Okay.
The book most people use is the dictionary to translate. Actually, Tarek, you use most in a different way than we've been talking about. But it's okay, it's still correct, okay? But this just means a lot of people here. So it's still correct. Who had this one? Okay, Mohammed. To Kill a Mockingbird is as better as Harry Potter. Correct or not correct?
Not correct.
Okay, how do we fix it, Sophie? What do we do?
Better.
Yeah, you can either say
It's better.
is. I don't know my marker's working. Okay, we can either say is better than,
Harry Potter.
or
Harry Potter.
if we want to say, if we want to use the equivalent, what do we
As
say?
good as good.
Right. When you use the equivalent, you just use the normal adjective. You don't change it.
Okay.
You don't change it. Right? So it's just as good as. To Kill a Mockingbird is as good as Harry Potter. Or To Kill a Mockingbird is better than Harry Potter. Yeah, this one is, this is actually a comparative. It's not a superlative. What if we want to make it a superlative? To Kill a Mockingbird is the, can we say the better book?
Biggest.
What's superlative for good? Look on your sheet. It's on your resource sheet. What's superlative for good?
Best.
Best. So To Kill a Mockingbird is the best book. So that one's comparative. That one's equivalent. That one's superlative. See, this one's comparing to. This one is saying, comparing it to the group. And this one is saying it's the same. It's as good as. So it's equal or equivalent. Okay? Let's do quickly. Do this one.
Harry Potter is as interesting as the Giving Tree.
Okay? What do you think? Correct? Not correct?
Correct.
Correct. Good. This one? Who had this one?
Of the class.
Guys, is this you?
Yeah.
He is the least funny student of the class.
What?
Is this correct? It's not about the books, but is the
That's
sentence correct?
You
Can we say funniest?
No.
No.
Well, you can. He is the funniest student in the class. But what about when we have least? Can we put least and funniest together?
No.
No. There's only room for one EST. So if you have least, you have a normal adjective. Least plus a normal adjective. Okay, down this one.
Is the most interesting book in the group.
Most interesting book in the group. Agree or disagree? Sorry, correct? Not correct. Harry Potter is the most interesting book in the group.
No.
Correct. Okay, this one?
Dictionary is the least boring book in all of the books.
In all of the books. Correct? Not correct?
Correct.
Correct. Good. This one? Who had this one?
Incorrect.
Who had this one? Who wrote it?
No.
Toro, did you write this one?
No.
No?
这位是不是现在？
Do you mean?
谁
Okay.
读啊？
Read it.
Harry Potter is less funny of all the book.
Harry Potter is least funny of all the book. Is that correct or not correct?
The
The. Remember? With the superlative, we always need the. The least funny of all the book. All of the books. Okay? Who had this one?
It's different.
Me, I'm right.
Jungkook?
Which one? Oh,
This one? Who had this one? Tarek, read it.
The dictionary is the book. Most people think the dictionary is boring.
Okay, the dictionary is the book. Most people think,
The dictionary.
I'm going to cut that out. Most people think is boring. That's kind of similar to this. So that's also a different way to use it. That's okay. Read. Interesting book. These are all similar. Okay, last one. Who had this? He is the most affirmative person. Who had that one? Alina, okay?
He is the most athletic person in the class.
Is that correct? Not correct? It's not about the books, but is it correct or not correct? He is the most affirmative. Paris, you say correct? It's correct. Yeah. Okay, so guys, remember, a superlative uses most, least, or EST. Can it use most and end in EST?
No.
Can it use least and end in EST? No. And what is equivalent? What does it show?
Same.
Two things that are the same. What about the adjective? Do you put EST, ER? Just normal adjective, right? So superlative shows how many things are we comparing?
More than two.
Yeah, more than two things. Or one thing and one thing compared to what? A group. Like one person to a group. Okay, you guys pass in your papers. I'll take your papers. And before you go, pass them this way. This is your ticket out of here. Then you can go. This is just to check and see if you learned today. So guys, you have to do this before you go. This is your ticket out. Alina? Now. Yeah, we started late, so we're going to end a couple minutes late.
It's okay.
Yep, now.
Do it now.
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 Now. Yes.
But
I want that one.
learn now.
It's to make sure you understood what we did today.
这人猜我干嘛？
做作业。
现在啊？
现在。
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
他妈现在53呢。
You can't go yet. You have to do that before you go.
What, teacher? What time you? So.
You must do this before you go. Sorry, where are you going?
You say I can go.
No, I said do that and then you can go. That's your ticket out of here.
54 now.
That's your ticket out. Well, we started late and you showed up to my class 20 minutes late. So you can do it before you go.
Okay.
Should be pretty easy. It should just take 5 minutes.
What we use?
Just read the questions and circle.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't really need to write. You just need to circle.
Yeah.
This should be pretty fast.
Just choose what kind of
You
project
just choose. No sentences. You just circle one. That's it.
Okay.
Finished? Okay.
汤子 B， 汤子 B 借我。
Circle one choice.
那你这样拿去
You don't need to write sentences. Hey guys, this is by yourself. There's no talking on this. If you have a question, you can ask me.
Okay.
Yeah, just what is it? What kinds of things does it compare? Things that are what?
操，下个学期谁他妈跟他谁死定了
There's a certain time when we use the equivalent.
Do you wanna correct?
Just correct on the sentence. So just cross it out if something is wrong. You don't need to rewrite. But just make a little small correction. Don't rewrite.
妈，下个学期谁跟他谁死定了是吧？
Finished? Great, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
What we do here? Number 6.
So on these, if there is a sentence that's not correct, just mark it a little to correct it.
Number 6.
Yeah, so you just make corrections on each sentence. So you said 3 is wrong, so you just correct it here. You don't need to rewrite. Just make a small correction.
I'm not correct this sentence. What can I do?
You said this one is not correct.
Yeah.
So you need to change whatever is wrong and make it so it's correct. Bye-bye. Did I get your paper? Papers? Papers? Yes? Yes? Thank you. Good.
Oh, I put it.
I put your names on. So it's okay. Did you have a question? They are as smarter as me. Is that a correct sentence or not correct?
It's not so much.
So you just need to circle yes, that sentence is correct, or no, it is not correct. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's one person or more than one here. That doesn't matter. If you want, you can replace it with he and she. It'll still be the same. Yeah.
I'm not sure about correct, but
Okay.
thank you.
跑那么快嘞？
You can go, he's out there, you can go to his out there.
His
Wilson?
name is Wilson.
Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's the argument?
Thank you. Yeah, so how would you correct that to make it right? How would you change it? Just write in the other letters.
Is the most, maybe change this.
Yeah, so most tallest, that part needs to be changed.
Others.
So I want you to,
Wait me.
Or change most.
what do you think? How can we change it to make it correct?
It is
Can we use most and tallest together?
No.
I do.
Cancel most. Most.
Do we put most and tall together? Tall is short. Tall, it's a short word.
Uh,
So what do we do?
He is most tall.
Well, that's okay, but we don't put most with a short adjective. What do we do when we have a short adjective? We add something to the end.
Tallest. Cancel.
Disgusting.